I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. I'm not even going to look.
Not looking.
Here we go. Dr. Bauer, happy new school year. July 1, 2025 marks the beginning of a new school year for the North Penn School District. Happy new school year. How you doing?
Yeah, how about that? July 1st. You and I did our first Superintendent Live on July 1st. A few years back. I am beginning year 4, Bob.
I got to say, it does not feel like it's been 4 years since we did that first one.
No, it does
really
not.
Doesn't. Doesn't it feel like it was like last summer?
Yeah.
Or like a year and a half ago? It's year 4, starting year 4 here.
I was actually headed on vacation, and I did it from home.
Yep.
Because you were like, we got to do one. It's the start of the year. You're starting your official tenure. It's
your first day as superintendent.
Yeah. So here we are, and we have a lot in the rearview mirror. Made a lot of progress the last couple of years in so many areas. A lot of work to be done still. And I finally feel like this is the week where you feel like you could take a deep breath. Yeah. Because you have commencement, you have the last day with staff, you have all these things. We had our leadership academy, we have all these events taking place. And finally, it's like, okay, take a deep breath.
And we go,
yeah.
And let's start again.
Yeah, here we go.
Right? You get a little bit of a breath, like a little bit right before July 4th, I always said is like that sweet spot for us that work all year round where you finish school year, wrap it up, and then you got July 4th always coming in and messing up that first week of July. And then you got a couple days to take a breath. And then we just hit it hard, July 4th on, and we do it all over again. So let's wrap up the school year. We do this because we do this after the school board meeting. Now it's a little bit different because all kinds of things are messed up going at the end of the year, trying to get all the things scheduled in here. But last school board meeting in June, the action meeting, the school board approved the 2025-26 budget. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's that do for us? What's going on in that budget that's different than any other year?
You know what, Bob? There isn't much that is different year to year. We've talked extensively via these conversations and meetings about Act 1. Mm-hmm. Act 1 is kind of the cap. Everyone knows the history of the high school project and the special election and all those things. So we are sticking to Act 1 or under. Act 1 really peaked a couple years ago. It is on its way down, it appears. I am not an economist nor a banker, but it does look like it is coming down. So what was, say, 5.3, 5.6 at times is now down to 4.0. And it appears the trajectory is on its way down. So
if I remember, the projections are like 3.5, 3.25 over the next 2 years, something like that.
Yeah, I'll look them up while we're talking here. I definitely.
You know what? Let's have the chat look it up for us. How about that?
Oh, the chat. No, I definitely.
It's July 1. I don't want to work so hard and do math. Come on.
That's fair. All right. So Act 1, there is some money falling off of the budget, some of the ESSER funds and some of the grant monies as a result of the pandemic in 2020. There's lots of grant or COVID relief monies that had to be spent by a certain time, and that timeline has kind of expired. So there are different things in the budget. Some of our temporary positions, subcontractors, some of those things have come off. Mm-hmm. But then throw on, obviously, the first borrowing for the high school project. I'm sure we'll get to that in this conversation. So anyway, we, for the first time in as long as I can remember, and you would know better because you've been here way longer, we were like right at a balanced budget this year. Normally, we have a budget deficit, and we try to find ways throughout the school year to cut costs and spend a little bit less to bridge that gap. But we're balanced for now. A lot can change over the course of a year with 13,000 kids, 2,000 employees, and so forth. But things look good for right now. There is a 4% increase.
Got it. All right. So let's talk about the high school, because if you drive by the high school today, or literally the day after school ended on June 17th, fencing was up, work began, contractors are in the building. It looks like a construction site over here at North Penn High School. Tell us where we're at and what's being worked on right now.
Oh, man, Bob, it is happening. So Rick Carroll Natatorium is absolutely torn apart. All the fixtures and tile and plaster and lockers, everything, it is gutted. We did that Facebook Live a few weeks ago from inside the empty
Down
pool.
in the pool. Yeah, it looks different from that. That's for sure.
Oh, it sure does. I don't think it would be safe for you or I to go in there right now. It is a full-fledged construction zone. They are also making great progress in K-Pod. There are construction fences up. They are tearing rooms apart. They started on the 3rd floor, I believe. And it is, hot and heavy. There's people up on the roof. I saw them this morning pulling down some of the finishings and the mason work up top. I hear that the gate and the brickwork out back enclosing.
Just heard that. I actually didn't realize that was coming down so soon.
Yeah,
I know that's where our addition is going, kind of where that the iron gates are and the brick. That's where our addition is going. But yeah, literally, as you were saying that, Craig texted me, and I'm going to make a joke for those of you that know. 1, 2, 3, 4 principals ago, Burton T. Hines. We always joked, and we called that the Iron Burton.
I've heard this
because it was part of the project when he was principal here that we built that secure courtyard in the back. But yeah, that the Iron Burton is coming down. Tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev.
Yeah, so I heard that yesterday. I didn't realize it was so imminent. And this morning I saw them out there, bringing in the construction equipment. That's going to come down. They'll put in a temporary fence kind of thing. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done underground and wires and piping and those types of things. So they're preparing. Certainly, this is something, if you don't work in the construction world, you probably don't think about. But they're going to build an addition, right? But in that AEF courtyard, and for those who aren't familiar, it's kind of like right in the middle of the building. They have to replace all the brickwork. They have to do all the windows. And all of that stuff is much easier to do when that new addition isn't there. So those are things that are going to happen before that's totally enclosed with the addition. So it's incredible. They've pulled out many tanks, underground tanks have come out. There was fencing in the back there by the receiving area closest to Crawford Stadium for a while. That fencing has been removed because the tanks are out. Now there's gravel down. Lots of the parking lot is partitioned. I mean,
that's the other part to think about too. That's happening around APOD. And if you were to see it back there, you see everything's marked out. Even the plumbing and the sewer has to be rerouted because that comes in those areas. So we're rerouting the water that's happening now. That won't be connected for other things for like a year or so, but it needs to happen before we start digging holes. Same thing. You got to get that stuff in before you do the other work. 3rd floor K-Pod. We've got our temporary classroom. So that's like probably the biggest change people will see when they come into the school in the fall are going to be the temporary spaces that we have for swing space for classrooms as we're renovating classrooms. So we have, I haven't looked at it yet because I was off last week. So take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
It's kind of hard, right? But the senior CAF is well on its way. Walls are up. The back of the auditorium under the balcony is getting some temporary classrooms. I haven't been down there to see. We're kind of moving chairs around a little bit in there. The auditorium will still be open. We just don't have under the balcony. Same with the Audion. I'm just really excited to go down there. I haven't seen them yet to see what that work looks like. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on. And when I drove in early this morning, I drove around the front. And I'm like, it looks like a construction site. Yeah, we're under construction. It's well on its way.
Yeah, so you're correct. I've walked through those spaces. Those temporary classrooms are being built. They're studded out. There's wires. We need to have spaces, right? So if you're renovating 3rd floor K-Pod and that floor is not available to students, where are those, let's just use round figures, where are those 12, 14 classrooms going?
Yeah.
We don't want to just stick them in a hallway. We need to find a space. So we are working to make a bunch of temporary classrooms right now to help facilitate the renovation process over the next couple of years. So senior CAF I've seen, auditorium, Audion, that outside of the balcony upstairs, that space will be one of the home offices. So it's a lot. It's a mess right now, but people who work in school construction really try to take advantage of the summers.
Summertime is full tilt gas, pedal to pedal. Let's go. Yeah,
and the brakes.
Yep.
Right. You said full tilt gas, and I said the brakes.
Yeah.
So like spring break, winter break, like it is. When there's no one in the building, they can be super productive.
Got to use that time.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to say personally, and then when people come back to the building, we don't have a whole lot going on, obviously, in the summertime here at the school because of construction. There's some minor things going on. But when you come back and you see it, some things will look different. And as somebody that's, I think my DNA is in some of these bricks, you know, like blood, sweat, and tears in the building. Like even for me, like watching the space change, it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm like, it's happening, it's changing, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. But as an old timer, I'm like, oh, okay, let's go. I got to take a deep breath and go into it. So it's exciting. It's going to be amazing, but at the same time, I have some anxiety because I want to make sure, you know, things are done right. And that's what we're all doing, to make sure things are done right. So if you feel that when you walk in for the first time, we're all there.
Yes, it is so different right now, and it is a full-fledged construction zone. So, you know, speaking of the nostalgia and the excitement, but let's talk about those radio towers, Bob.
Yeah, WNPV. So, end of an era. Mary Fakish, Dominic DiDio in my department here did a great job. I was disappointed. I was away, and the towers came down last week that I couldn't personally be there to see them come down. Yeah. But we brought back Phil Hunt, former owner and general manager of the station, to come watch too, because that was his life. That was his whole, you know, the WNPV and the Hunt family. It's just like we put in the video, it was an end of an era to watch the towers come down. So there were 5 total AM towers that were on that site. There's also a cell tower, so people kind of confuse that sometimes. There's a cell tower that didn't go away, but we have been broadcasting on WNPV since 2021, and we only need 1 tower to do that. We've changed the license to be an educational license. We're a little bit lower power than what WNPV was as an educational license. We still go pretty far. We talk about that. You know, it goes out to Quakertown and such. But the other 4 towers literally were not in use. They're not powered. We're not using them. They're not needed. And the whole purpose of purchasing that property was not to run a radio station. The purpose of that property is to give us the space we need to do what we need to do for North Penn High School. Right. And it was time. You know, we're going to be using that space until it becomes other fields for the school as a staging area for construction. And even I had to say, Dominic sent me a draft of the video he made of those towers come down. Even I was like, hello.
Your eyes were sweating?
Yeah. I said, oh, you almost made me cry, Dom. You almost made me cry. So, and it was really heartwarming to watch Phil watch it happen. And come down. His commentary was great. Yeah,
that was really cool that you guys invited Phil. He's a partner and a friend of the school district, has been for years and years and years. And he gave that little plug that he listened to the baseball state championship. Yeah. And it gives him great pride knowing that our students are on the airwaves, and we kind of took over that call. It's great. So you're right. It is not, our purpose of purchasing that property was not to run a radio station, but we love the fact that our kids can do it, and they're podcasting and they're doing all these fun things and live on the radio waves. But that space is just, I think it's roughly 14 acres. Yeah. And that we plan to utilize for now as just extra fields, intramural fields, clubs. They're not varsity competitive fields. The plan is to grade them out, have more space for our kids in our community to do active things. So I would expect you see some of the local organizations like TYA and such using those fields at times. But we're excited about that. But we can plan to continue utilizing WNPV Lansdale.
It's really amazing if just getting the technical pieces of it. I knew, and I've watched videos, and I knew how towers would come down, but they're all held up by guidelines. And it's interesting when they do it. Now they put cranes to make sure they fall the right way, just like you do
with a tree,
felling a tree, right? Yeah. But you basically clip the one cable and then you push it, and then it goes. And they did exactly, everything worked exactly how it's supposed to work. They kind of fold on themselves and come down. So if you hadn't seen it, actually, I'll throw it in the chat here, the video, if you hadn't seen it. It's an interesting listen and watch to hear Phil talk about it as he sees those towers come down. The one line he said was, I was here when they put those towers up.
Yeah, right.
And that's 50 years ago. So, it's exciting.
Bob, speaking of the chat, we have seen 0 comments.
Nobody's here. We got 18 viewers. So you go ahead and give us a shout out there, chat. That's you guys that are watching right now, by the way. We're using the kids' term.
We're so cool, you and I.
We're so hip. By the way, it's probably something different now.
Yeah, the kids aren't calling it chat. Hey, chat. What's going on today?
Yeah, the old people found out, so they don't use it anymore. Throw us in there. Say hello. Send us a chat, and we'll say hi back to you. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, so July 1, 2025, 2026 school year means we have a whole new class of students coming in. We said goodbye to the class of 25. And we have right now registered about 850 kindergarten students, which is the class of
2039, I think you said.
Holy cow.
Holy cow. Like, you remember Y2K and like when 2000 was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We're talking about 2039, Bob.
2039.
Insane.
Although I remember saying there was something we were doing here in the 90s, and I'm like, that's going to be 1999. That is so, I remember saying it like, what are we talking about? We're talking about 1999. We're going to do this. It was something we were trying to plan. It was going to take like 5 years. And I remember like 1999 is so far away. 2039.
Yeah. Well, it's always, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Donna Gianmarco Chavor.
Yep.
Just gave a shout out that her son is a DJ at WMPV and loves it. Thank you, Donna. Thanks for your engagement. It is so exciting getting new kids. They'll come in here. It's not as much because the process is now online primarily. But they come in here, they take the picture in that little thing. It says class of 2039. And it's just exciting to have new kids and new energy to the school district. That said, commencement was just wonderful. I cannot imagine. First of all, having graduation June 17th was too late.
A little bit late.
Little late. And I was fearful that it was just going to be so stinking hot. Mm-hmm. It was like 73 and cloudy with a breeze. I mean, of course, people think, oh, we would love it to be bright and sunny. No, the overcast is wonderful for television. Mm-hmm. It is wonderful for some of our senior citizens who are in the stands. Like, overcast day is perfect. And it was beautifully done. The student speeches were excellent. We did 1,064 names, and it was finished in less than an hour, 50 minutes.
Yep.
It's 2 hours. It's just great. So well done by everyone, all the planning and preparation that goes into that. Really excited about it. We had about 6,900 people come through, and that does not include the graduates and the staff. So a lot of people in attendance, received dozens of appreciative emails. Of course, when you have somewhere around 9,000 people on campus, there are some challenges and some issues. But in general, profuse praise for the work that everyone did. So I, unlike you, really show up to the event. I give a very short speech at the end. Some of the preparation conversations happen in advance, but in general, I'm not the one doing the work. So kudos to our custodial staff, to the communications department and team, and then the high school staff, top down, from Mr. Hassler all the way to the folks who are helping us set up chairs and the stage and the flowers and the everything. It was a beautiful night celebrating a wonderful class.
Well, that's one thing I always say is that I always joke that it's like launching the space shuttle, So you just fire rockets, it just goes up, right? Yeah. You just put some chairs on the field and you put some mics out and you're good to go. So there are so many people involved. I mean, hundreds upon hundreds of our staff making sure to the best of our ability to foresee problems, to try to get people in as quickly and most efficiently as we can to get our graduates on the field and give everybody their moment on the field and have their time in the sun, do their handshake and get their photo. It's 1,064, so we're moving, but we purposefully, we also don't try to make it too fast so that it's not worth the time, right? Everybody gets a moment. And I say it's a moment. Not like you get 5 minutes on that stage. It's a moment, but it's your moment and you're on that side of the stage. You're shaking the hand and mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, everybody can see you right there in the center of that stage for that time. So I'm always impressed. Our team is amazing. And if you would see the documents we have in planning and the pages we go through and the checklists and the box from everything from where flowers go to the practice rehearsal, the microphones, the practice speech, all the things we do, the nurses,
porta potties,
yeah,
like all the little things, yeah,
confetti, like all the things. There's so many things on a massive checklist that when you see it, hopefully you go like, oh, you guys did a nice job with that, right? And of course, I agree. Sometimes there's hiccups or a problem getting in the gate, or maybe somebody brings a bring umbrella that we ask you not to bring.
Right.
Hold it up. Luckily it wasn't as sunny that people didn't have to shade themselves that way. But I'm always impressed by our team. They do a great job.
Yeah, you said a couple things there that struck chords with me. First of all, shout out to Mrs. Diffley. She's always chiming in on the Superintendent Lives. I agree. Some of those student speeches, she's commenting about the metaphor or analogy with the parking lot. All the kids just did such a great job. But you did mention, Bob, the kids get their moment. And we have student readers reading the names, and once in a while they'll mess up a name, and we want them to get it right, of course. Mm-hmm. That said, and I know you guys record the entire thing, I have never once gone back and watched one of my graduations and to hear my name. Right? It's about the moment, the picture, the handshake, the diploma, getting your picture taken out by the marquee at some point, and your parents and your family seeing you come across the stage. Those are the things. So it was just really, really awesome to see. Really proud of the kids, really proud of the effort. Yeah, it was beautiful. So I love it. It's the best day of the year. You also mentioned, with that moment, remember the 2020 graduation?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
By the way, that is seared into my identity now.
So for those who were not a part or had like graduation on their radar, I think that might have been the single best thing we've ever done, Bob. And we had meeting after meeting after meeting, like, what are we going to do with commencement? And I distinctly remember the meeting. It was me, you, Dr. Dietrich, and now Dr. Nicholson. And at one point, we were like, hold on, pump the brakes. What do people want? They want to hear their kid's name, and they want to get a picture and get their diploma. That's it. They don't care about my speech. They don't care about the principal. They want to see their kid, hear their kid's name read, see them get their diploma, take some pictures, and walk across the stage. And it just so happened that was the year we were demoing Crawford Stadium. So we were like, you know what? Let's drive on the track.
Let's do it.
And let's give every single kid that moment where they pull up in their car, they get out, they walk up, we read their name, they leave. So we did 43 graduation ceremonies for different waves. It was, what was it? Roughly 20 kids at once?
Yeah, it was 20. And that was all, and got to rewind back to the very beginning of COVID and the shutdown, is that we were only allowed to have, forget the number, if it was under 20 people in any location at any time, whatever the number was, the number of people in the field, everybody's in their cars, so that didn't count, right? The people in the cars didn't count. As long as you stayed in your car, the grad got out, that was one person. We had the superintendent, we had the principal, we had somebody handing it off, we had a camera person. So we had just a handful of people on the field. Yeah. But the cars, you were in your car. It was so much fun. My son graduated that year. And I always say this, it's funny, COVID kind of, the universe protected me as graduation Bob, and then Bob as a dad that my wife said when my kids were born, like, you're going to be at graduation, not working. And I'm like, okay, I got 18 years to figure it out. And it just so happened that my son, my first kid, was 2020, and then I did 42 of the 43 graduations. And I was dad for one, and I got to be full dad from beginning to end of doing that, just like every other dad. And then when my daughter graduated in 2021, we did the 3 graduations. So I got to do the first 2, and then was a dad. I got out, drove to the school with my family, checked my camera bag through security, and got to sit as a dad. So and look, I think that was a great moment. I still love going back and seeing some of the videos we did there. But I will tell you, give us a challenge. We're going to do it out.
Figure it out.
We're going to do that.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we were setting all that up and all the logistics and the sign-up geniuses and who goes with whom and who checks them in and how do we stage them and the order, reading the name, all that stuff. And I just distinctly remember the admin team, we signed up for sessions. I'll do this one on Monday and I'll do these 4 on Tuesday. And I was there for the first 2. And I was like,
you can't leave.
I'm not leaving. I'm doing them all.
Same.
So a lot of people came and went. I'll tell you that Dr. Dietrich, Mr. Nicholson, and myself, and of course, I'm sure you were there. And
except for one.
Except I was at all of your own sons. But yeah, it was, I was there for every single one, 7 days straight, 43 separate ceremonies, and it was worth every bit of it. Yeah. Because once you saw a couple kids, you're like, I have to be here. This is their moment. So anyway, moving on. That was amazing.
Let me just share a couple comments here because we got a whole lot of the chat going on. So I want to give a shout out to Nicole here talking about this year's graduation. Impressed with the night. Agree. It's such a wonderful night. And we do work really hard to try to make sure everything is the focus on your grad and make sure they have their moment. Let's see here. There's 2020 shout outs here.
Yeah, lots of 2020 shout outs. Being in the car made it so personal.
Yep.
Mr. Kratz here. Hey, Dave. He always chimes in, talks about the after ceremony and how there were some challenges.
Oh yeah, I guess traffic, some other things. Sure, now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I do, and it's kind of like at the end of the day, on the average day, if you wait 20 minutes, the parking lot clears out. Well, at commencement, that 20 minutes is more like an hour and 20.
Yeah.
But some people run out of there. I just stand on the stage and
just
soak it in. Families come up and ask for pictures or whatnot. You get to give high fives and hugs. I just wait it out, and when it feels like the stadium's empty, that's when I make my way.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just a beautiful, beautiful night. And
well, I do the same too, and I wait because I can't pull my cables off the field until everybody's off the field.
Yeah.
So I got to wait too.
Yeah.
All right. So graduation. We talked about the class of 2039. I'm just wondering if we have any 2039 parents in the chat here, because I will tell you this too. Again, I'm going to do all the dad stuff. Is that it doesn't seem that long ago that my kids, that I was enrolling my own kids in kindergarten, and now they've been out for 4 or 5 years now. It does go fast. So while you and I probably everybody else that's on here are looking at 2039, that's an eternity from now, it really does also fly by. So you'll still be here, right? And I'll be here in 2039. I'm not going for Linda Law's record. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm not going for any records in longevity. So I'll say this. I've been just completed my 20th year, actually, in education. And, the benchmark that people strive for is 35. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I don't know that you're at 35 this year. I know because young Bobby Gilmer, he started when he was in high school. So we'll see. But I've
worked for the North Penn School District in each part of each school year, I think. I've worked in each part of a school year since 1986.
Wow.
Yeah. How old were you?
We're not going to talk about that, Bob. But yeah, so we'll see.
I was 15. So
I love it here. I love our community. There's a question here. Are you going to show the grads' names on the board in front of the school? Yes, that schedule is posted on the high school's website.
It's currently running. So if you were at the beginning of the alphabet, don't worry. We do run it twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this in the chat.
Throw that in the chat, Bob. So there is a spreadsheet posted on the website. What time? They did announce that at commencement. So get out there. I seriously don't know what. Yeah, right. So I always say, there's a lot of leadership quotes out there that say things such as a great leader works himself out of a job, right? Because if you empower others and teach them and build capacity in them, then it gets to a point where they don't need you. So I always say to people, look, everyone's replaceable except for Bob Gilmer.
No. And I got a great team. I got a great team of folks here that, regardless of when I do or don't retire or whatever, I feel like we're in good hands. So
yeah.
I agree.
You can't leave. So
I don't want to go yet. So I'm not getting pushed out the door. I love the job still. I'm excited every day because great things like graduation, figuring out complicated things and making it great. And that's the one thing I said, one of the things to keep you going here. There's two great things. We have great staff and great people to work with, but I got to tell you, it's even more fun to work with the students, and that's why I've been in education. That's why you've been in education all these years. Is why? Well, because the kids are awesome. Their energy and to be able to make what they see happen. Oh, that's the best.
It's just, yeah. And when I'm having a rough day, things are going on. I will often say to the folks in the office, I'll leave my office here and I'm going to schools. And I just walk out. I just go to buildings and sit down next to that kindergartner all the way to 12th grader and talk to the kids. And it does make your day. And it reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. So great. It is. And I always say to you, as I've been saying now for 10 years, lean on the kids, right? Let's ask the kids. They're not going to let us down. So that's what it's all about. You got it. Thanks, Bob, for dropping that in there.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want to discuss on the agenda from a couple weeks ago?
Well, I'm all excited for the start of the school year, and I'm all chatty now. I've had 2 cups of coffee, but I think we're ready to wrap it. Let our chat audience relax too. As always, throw questions in here. If you have things you want us to talk about at some point, we'll try to bring that up too. We have probably, I don't know when our next community conversations. It's a slightly different format than this, but it's coming up.
Yeah, you know what, Bob? We got a lot of love when we did Emily Ikeda.
Yeah.
Emily, a lot of people chimed in, and a lot of people watched, like, hey, I didn't realize this was a thing. And I'm wondering if we've been doing that now for a couple years, not as frequently as I think you and I would like. I wonder if there are other alumni that people would love for us to interview.
So it's really tough because a lot of people see us in a format like this. So this is our Superintendent Live that we do after the school board meeting to talk about the action and business and things that happen, anything else that's going on. Then we have our community conversations, which are targeted conversations with different aspects of our community leaders, parent leaders, those types of things. And then
we have a podcast.
We have the award-winning Educating with Ease podcast with Dr. Bauer. So we brought in Emily, 2012 grad, doing great. She's with NBC News, and it was a great conversation. So there are other people in the community or alumni or people in the chat here you say, hey, you should talk to, throw us a bone here. If you want to keep some information more confidential or whatever, you can send that through the Facebook messaging as well and just message us through our Facebook page. We would love to talk to as many people as we can.
Yeah. No, I love it. So I love that it's the same people kind of chiming in here and engaging with us too. Tell your friends. It makes it more fun. That's why we ended up doing this in the first place, because we would host events and just a couple people would come. But this way, a couple thousand people watch, a couple dozen people comment. And most of the comments are productive. Once in a while, you just get people who want to say not nice things. But I guess that's the world we live in right now, where people just fire off comments. In general, it's
a complicated business with 13,000 different personalities of students and 2,000 personalities of staff and 30,000 parents. We're in a complicated business, but we're all here to help our kids and help our parents and help our community. That's why we're all here. So sometimes things are hard.
Yep, that's how things work. So
but mostly it's good stuff, and this is why July 1 feels so good. We're starting fresh again.
Lather, rinse, repeat. Here we go. So yeah, I love it. We last night, Bob. Here's a fun little tidbit. The state requires that you have an executive session with the board every year on matters of school safety. So Mr. Rohn gave his presentation last night, and we talked a lot about Safe to Say. And the tips that come in, and similar to what our conversation just there about the comments and the chat, it's safe to say we had something like 360 tips this year. And I would irresponsibly guess that 98% of them were valuable. Like our students and families utilize that as a tool. And it is super, super helpful. And it allows us to, engage with families and help kids. And so I love it. I appreciate people chiming in and your help and support. And so thanks for doing this, Bob.
All righty. So July 1, we'll talk to you guys next in this format. Probably, I got to go to new calendar. July 21st would be our next scheduled Superintendent Live. It's typically the Monday after school board meeting. Yep. We did it the Monday. Well, now it's Tuesday, isn't it?
Because Robert was on vacation.
I know. I take a day off once in a while. All righty. Dr. Bauer, happy 2025-26 school year.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob. I can't wait to see everybody come August 21st.
Is that what I said?
No.
Oh, beginning of school year.
Yeah, the beginning of first day of school is probably the 27th. So there we go. We'll see students then. But just excited. Here we go. July 1st. Let's do this.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Take care.